Here's a review of this week's fights. Andrew Labouche, Miguel Antonio Barragan, Lee Honish, we're all here. We're here to bring you the official scorecards and updates of this weekend's fights. Go check out the audio portion. The poor people who are listening to audio right now are so mad because I probably didn't do any audio editing whatsoever. So we'll start with the night of Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz. Joseph Diaz took on Devin Haney in Las Vegas. Miguel is our expert on watching the prelims. How were the prelims for Haney-Diaz card?
They were pretty lame. I mean, they weren't really eventful. I mean, there was, I'm trying to remember who was on there. That's how lame it was that I didn't remember who the hell was on the prelims. But it was like I was watching it kind of in the background.
We'll just skip.
Yeah, because they were uneventful.
We just jumped to the main event, which, it was hard, actually.
It's usually background stuff.
Well, and here's the thing. The UFC actually had a decent fight night card, which does not help when they have a good fight night card going at the same time, and there's a shitty Haney Diaz, DAZN, whatever the hell that thing was for the undercard, which takes us to the main event. We all watched it. Devin Haney took on Jojo Diaz. Everybody tried to sell this as a real fight. Not really my impression. Wasn't much of a fight at all. Jojo Diaz, who was touted as coming in as being big and tough and strong, and wasn't that far off odds-wise, but still, he certainly didn't fight to the same caliber that the odds had him at. I'll start with you, Andrew Labouche. What did you think of Haney-Diaz?
Well, I thought, I got to disagree, Lee. I thought it was actually a good fight. Me and Miguel had been saying for weeks that JoJo was going to be the toughest fight of Haney's young career. And for the most part, it was a good, tough fight for Haney. I came away from this fight with more questions about Devin Haney than I did answers. And that to me shows that Diaz was there the whole night. This wasn't a pushover. Look, when and I'm going to speak for you right now, Miguel. I'm going to speak for you right now. When me and Miguel talked about it, we kept saying this fight was going to be as good as long as it lasted. If you guys kept hearing that was a common phrase coming out of us I think Lee asked us 4 weeks in a row what we thought about this fight. And we kept saying it's as good as long as it lasted. Well, let me tell you, around round 7 or 8, I really didn't expect Jojo Diaz still be in that fight. Not only did I think Devin was going to stop him on pure accuracy and just, youth and just being a better fighter. Just like this guy is, they describe him as the next Floyd Mayweather. I was expecting a lot more from Devin Haney. So right off the bat, his offense is great. Speed is great. Power, question mark. The second big question mark I had coming out for this was his defense. Look, a lot of these guys like playing the Floyd shoulder roll, going to keep my hands down to my waist. You got to have reflexes, man. Jojo Diaz kept hitting Devin Haney with the left hand all night long. And this wasn't just, he was just brushing him. He was just barely hit. He had Devin Haney's eyes looking at the lights numerous times. Aaron Pryor versus, what's the Hawk? Arguello. Yes, Aguero, yes. Mm-hmm. I said the wrong nickname, didn't I? Yeah, Pryor Aguero. Yes. It was that type of fight, man, where it was just like how I started thinking JoJo was going to at least start breaking Haney down at the end here. He was hitting him so many times with the straight left. I was zooming in on Haney. When the fight was over, I was really trying to pay attention to Haney's right eye to see if there was some kind of scarring there that I had just missed. His eye looks fine. The side of his face looks fine. Why was he getting hit so much on this night? So, no, this was a big letdown, in my opinion, a letdown as far as stop with the Haney. Haney's the next Floyd.
Haney
coasted.
He didn't. The rounds he lost were coast rounds.
It was a better fight than that, Lee.
That's not the fight. I had it 117, 111. I didn't. The rounds he lost
winning rounds,
because of inactivity.
Winning rounds sometimes doesn't justify the action that's being put in the ring. Yeah, okay, so JoJo wasn't winning every round, he was still touching Devin Haney way too much, especially getting late into that fight where
what
I
we've
would have
stated
thought
many times on this show is
Haney
that
would've pulled
Haney
away.
actually sucks, and that's what JoJo exposed. I mean, Haney's a weak fighter. I never understood why Tommy Hearns picked him up as, the second coming of God. I don't understand why he got a contract.
Yeah, he needed his piece of the lightweight. I mean, at the time, Lomachenko was the man, and, Teofimo was coming up and whatnot, so he needed to have a piece of the lightweights too. I'm sure he wanted a piece of that.
No doubt. What did you think of the fight, Miguel? Settle the argument.
Well, I certainly don't think that Haney coasted. I mean, the rounds that Diaz won, with the few that there were, that he earned them. Like, he absolutely earned them. There was a couple of times where me and my pops were basically losing our shit over why Diaz wasn't more active. What Andrew was saying earlier about questioning Haney's power, we were like, okay, hold up. It didn't look like Haney was able to hurt Diaz, so fucking keep going, keep marching, walk him down. You can take his power. Maybe once or twice it looked like Joseph was momentarily, like shaken, but it was very mild, and it looked like Diaz basically kept his bearings fine. But it's just like, dude, you can't just like have these long periods of inactivity and let Haney, throw these jabs or whatnot. I don't know if it was the fact that Diaz was southpaw, but that left hand was connecting. It was the lead right down the pipe. A couple of times he was winging him over, right, doing the left hook, and it landed. As wide as the shit was, it landed on Haney. It's like, all right, Haney probably shouldn't have taken that shot. There should have been a reason for him to like move out of the way. There's no point in him taking that shot other than Jim just trying to basically plant his feet and take it and just be like, all right, I'm going to take this left hook for no fucking reason. I was pissed that Diaz didn't open up with that left hand a lot more. The straight left, the lead left, even if it wasn't super hard, it was scoring. So even though ultimately the judges was like, or the scores was super, to Danny's favor, it felt like definitely was a lot closer. Each round felt like it was a lot closer because, although Diaz did have those periods of inactivity, he did what he could. He did what he could, and you can't. I mean, I don't know what the hell was going on with Diaz. We were expecting. I don't want to say I was disappointed in Diaz, but I was expecting a lot more, especially considering how Haney's power was. I was like, wait a second, this is and when Haney fought Linares, I was like, all right, Linares is that legend thing, like a guy he's gonna have on his record, right? I thought, okay, this is kind of sort of the semi-passing of the torch here, even though it already happened with Loma. But I'm talking about here creating the new star. Okay, that's understandable. He beat Linares. This fight was I was expecting to be like, holy shit, this is going to be Haney's kind of a rival. Like, you know what? Joseph is no pushover. He's a young cat. He's not a guy on the way out, anything like that. A former champion. All right, cool. This is going to be his rival. And it didn't feel that way. It did not feel that way after the fight. I was like, I don't know. Unfortunately, I was kind of like left with a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, man, this is kind of underwhelming. Number one, from Haney, because I thought he was a lot more of a power puncher, and I thought this was going to be his thing. And even Diaz was like, all right, I was expecting Diaz to come out here, guns blazing. It did take him a couple of rounds. By round 3 or 4, 4 or 5 is when he started really, opening up. But even still, it just felt like it wasn't enough. He gave away a couple of those early rounds, which I didn't like, but I don't know. It was deflating when I saw this fight. I was like, man, I was expecting more out of both these guys. Nonetheless, the fight was still good, and I have watched it a couple of times since then. It hasn't changed my opinion. I still feel that Haney won. But I mean, yeah, I thought this was going to be like, more than it actually was, I guess.
All right.
You can tell it was a letdown at the end of the fight when DAZN totally brushes over, won the victory of Devin Haney. They don't acknowledge it at all. They're like, yeah, it was a good fight. Here's Cambosos. Oh, look at over here. Yeah. The lightweight king is here, Pete. Like, oh my God. It was like,
yeah, it's
dude,
like,
Devin's
now
just
over with. Yeah, now that we got this over with. Go ahead, bring Cambosos in.
Devin was just standing there with like you could see his jaw was kind of open. Like, are you serious right now? And then Cambosos is like, hey, look, I don't want to take nothing away. I seen holes in his offense, but yeah, nothing. No disrespect. You could come to Australia. It was bad. Like, Haney walks off. He doesn't shake anyone's hand. No, he clearly had a chance to outshine George Cambosos. He failed. Cambosos is the lightweight king. And at least on this night. Then we go into Sunday. But on this night, Devin Haney did not outshine Kambosos at DAZN, and DAZN kind of proved it by
or anybody
totally,
else in that
right.
weight division, I might add.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He didn't exactly give up his spot per se, but it didn't exactly,
he didn't move forward.
Catapult
He's still in the rankings.
Yeah, no, the needle didn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll cover all that in a second because we got to talk about the other end of that division, which I'm going to say it. Gervonta Davis and Isaac Cruz as a fight card, as a headlining fight, it's going to pain me to say it, and I'm hoping I can get it out of Andrew. It was entertaining. Some of the fights on the undercard were entertaining. The main event was completely entertaining. At no point did I ever think that Isaac Cruz have a chance to win this thing at all, okay, to be perfectly honest. And if you don't know, Gervonta Davis won by unanimous decision. That's not here nor there. This is the other end of the spectrum. I think Tank, who then claimed his hand was broken in the first round or the second round, he did, basically had to go full Rocky Balboa here and like gut out and be a man, and even with a jacked up hand, which certainly looked jacked up after the fight, he had to gut out and pull this. Isaac wasn't going anywhere, and he wasn't hard to find either. He was head down, face first into the ring, and came at him every round to the point where Gervonta actually had to change the way he fought him for the second half of the fight. I actually grew in liking Gervonta Davis a little more from this fight. And no, nobody on the staff, by the way, paid for this, nor do I think that they're going to get 25,000 pay-per-views for this as a pay-per-view. But as someone who illegally streamed it, I wasn't sad on Sunday night at all. I'll start this time. Let's talk about the undercard. First of all, we got to see Sebastian Fondura, which I just want to see him get knocked out at this point. I don't even want him to move forward. I just want to see. I'm now watching him to watch him get knocked out because his thin little tiny spider legs don't look very solid. And let's start right there. I don't know when you jumped in on the fight card, Andrew. Did you get to see Fondura?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Lee. Listen, what I don't like about Fondura is they're already trying to work him into a title shot at 154. No, he doesn't deserve it. He's fought nobody. No, I didn't like the fight at all. Look, the guy that Spanish cat, did that guy not look surprised that he was undefeated on his fight pick? It was hella funny when they showed his picture. He's got like this, I'm 33-0. He had this type of look on his face, like fucking totally planted. No, I didn't like it at all. I'm not a Fondura fan. I don't want to see him versus any of the Charlos.
I'm not a Fondura fan either. I just want to see him get knocked out. That's all. I know it's going to happen.
But you understand that because you're saying that, Al Heyman gets to put, he does, oh, look, it's working. Or see, all you gotta do is stay undefeated, listen to me, and you'll get a fucking pay-per-view title shot with Charlo. Nah, fuck him. That fight was garbage. He's garbage. No. I don't want to see it at all.
Miguel, did you enjoy anything on the undercard? That was my enjoyment of the undercard.
The Derevchenko and Adames fight was
wasn't bad. You mean
that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who looked at his shorts? It's Technicon, but at one point it looked like the end got squished, and I swear to God, I looked at it and went, his trunks say Technicock. What? And they have to shorten his name because apparently they can't pay to put Derevchenko all the way around on their backs of the jerseys. So he's just Derevino. And he's Technicock.
Hey, it costs for every letter, Lee.
Yes, those were, that looked like stitching. So yeah, I bet it's expensive.
Yeah, it's like after the seventh letter, it's like we got to start charging a double for everyone.
Yeah, Derevchenko pulls a big L, as I recall.
Hey, you know what I was thinking though, you guys, for that one, because that fight was entertaining, and it looked like Derevchenko was going to pull it out at the end, or at least had moments. I was telling Chris, he's not a PBC guy. That's why he's giving it his all. This is not a PBC grown fighter here, but yeah, he ended up.
Hashtag MTK for life. What'd you see, Miguel?
All right. So about the main event, you mean, right?
Any of them.
Well, I mean the Fundora guy. I mean, he's I don't know. I kind of feel like he's like a spectacle to watch. He's the Andre the Giant. He steps at the ring, you're like, oh shit, what the hell?
No, he's
but then
not.
once
You know who he's like?
But then
he's
once
like, who's the Mexican, the El Gigante? He's
oh
El
yeah,
Gigante.
yes.
He's not even good enough to be
right.
Andre the Giant.
There
That's
you go.
insulting.
That's better because Andre can work in the ring.
This is El Gigante.
Yes, this is the El Gigante, the Giant Gonzalez dude.
Giant
this is him,
Gonzalez.
basically, right? That's who it is, dude. Because once the bell rings, that's it. Like the show's over. You know,
he's got to come to the ring as Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's got to have the costume with the hair and everything. Like that's how it's gonna have to be. Because I mean, like he could throw down. I'm not gonna say he can, right? He's is entertaining to some degree, but after a while, you're like, dude, you have no pop. You're not using your height. You're not using your reach. It's like I was thinking when I first saw this, when I started watching the fight, and the other dude, Garcia, I think his last name is, he was like, trying to reach Sebastian Fundura's face. It's like, bro, forget about his fucking face. It's hard as fuck to reach. Your arms are gonna get tired punching at it.
Punch what's right in front of you, for God's sakes.
Yes, his chest, his elbows, whatever.
He's 5'5", for God's sakes. There's other parts of the body.
Yeah, and still he was able to reach him and still bloodied Fundura's face. Like, what the hell is Fundura doing wrong? He's still very young and very green, and you can tell, the fact, when I saw that, I was like, 12 rounds? He's going 12 rounds? What the shit? This is scheduled for 12 rounds? I didn't think Fundura was ready for that. But
it was an eliminator, all important.
Yeah.
They kept saying it, the all-important WBC eliminator.
So garbage.
They made a big deal out of that, so I'm just like, okay, this is I don't know. I mean, it was uneventful. The fight was. It was all right, like there was some blood. All right, cool. That definitely spices things up a little bit. But I mean, I was more entertained with the Derevyanchenko Adames fight, honestly.
Adames,
that
was. Shout out to Adames, man. Fucking nut up. That's a big win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was the one that I was more
probably not. I know this because I pulled our stories. Barely got any run. You know why? Because he's a nobody. It's like the Otto Wallen story. You just went 12 rounds with Tyson Fury and cut him to shreds. What are you going to do with that? Oh, we're going to be the champion of our local rec room. Okay. Good job. Way to go, guys. Same thing with Adames. What are you going to do with that big win? Be the champion of my rec room. It's okay. I'll be city champion. Okay. Nobody. I feel bad for PBC, Aram, if you're not Top Rank, if you're not, same thing I said in that interview, if you're not PBC, if you're not Top Rank, I'll certainly Matchroom, but look, let's even go really low key, right? Let's say you're not even Golden Boy, for God's sakes. I mean, it would be exciting because then they'd have a fighter, but you're not going to get the shot at big money as an independent outside guy. You're just not. I mean, even the MTK and their formula for their guys, they just leave them in Europe because they know they'll just it's just a constant pipeline of money at the low level with MTK fighters. They get them to 30-0, they ship them off to Bob or to Eddie Hearn and put these 30-0 monstrosities in front of the next guy, let them fight for a green card, and the wheel of life just keeps going round and round in boxing. And that's kind of what we have with these undercards. Like, it's a bunch of guys that Adames falls into that category. I mean, he should be a big thing. You took out Derevyanchenko. That's dude's been in championship fights. That's the real deal there, kid. Good job. I guarantee we're never going to hear from this fucking guy again. That's tragedy. Mm-hmm. And then it falls silent on the room because Lee talked boxing for far too long. Again, and made sense. I apologize for those watching the video. Which takes us to our main event of the evening, covered by only one announcer, no color guy, and Jim Gray asking bizarre and insane questions after the fight, who I'm convinced is just popping, THC pills before he goes into the ring. What a wild fight that was! Woo! I saw colors during that fight. Yeah, Jim Gray is losing his shit on national TV. At the beginning, I feel like when we were first watching this, they actually had Al Bernstein doing color for the first fight, and then he disappeared on the second fight, Miguel. I'm clear that Al Bernstein was on at some point, and then he just disappeared during the telecast. Like, Al Heyman made a phone call and had him whacked for something he must have said. Which is the most fascinating thing. So we were stuck with what's his name, Ray or Ed or whatever the fuck that dude's name is, and his constant PBC blowjob, he's probably going to lose his job because he put over Isaac a couple of times during that fight on the telecast. I thought way too much because it was inspiring to watch Isaac, who was way out of his depth on no preparation time. And I'm going to believe Gervonta Davis hurt his hand in that first round, which means he went real deep water against a dude who wanted it really bad. It's kind of a defining fight. A lot of shit came out of this one fight. Now that I know about the hurt hand, if the hand is not legit, then Gervonta Davis is the biggest piece of crap walking the planet. He didn't train, and Camboso should sign it as quick as he can. If his hand was hurt, like he said it was, or slightly broken, and he gutted out that win with a unanimous decision, fucking what a beast. I'll start with you, Andrew. I mean, we have two realities here. Was his hand hurt or was his hand not hurt, right? If his hand was hurt, Gervonta Davis is a stud, and I got to stop fucking bashing on him. I do. That's the bottom line. Because Isaac Cruz showed up to fucking Isaac. It keeps Isaac. Miguel.
Yeah. Isaac. Yep.
Okay. Isaac, which is really Isaac, right? I'm not losing my mind.
I know. That was weird.
Yeah. Look, let's not get into it. We just did Machuchu and Wababu for an hour on this show. Least we can do is Isaac, because the dude, it was kind of inspirational even to watch him being pranced around the ring after the fight and the fans going, fuck yeah, dude, at least you showed up and gave it your all. He did.
Well, yeah. Have you ever seen a little boy last 12 rounds with a grown-ass man? Because that's what it looked like. I mean, come on. Isaac Cruz was fucking 5 foot nothing in that ring.
Oh, yeah.
Was
One weight
punching
class
at
smaller,
air.
no doubt.
Yeah, he's punching at the air. I mean, it was bad. You got he didn't land enough. I wanted him to throw more punches, especially at the end. It looked like the body work started working for him. It was slowing Gervonta down, but the young man just doesn't throw enough punches. Now, I don't know if it's because he was getting countered with, by Gervonta Davis, a very good counter puncher, or he was just tired, but no, I didn't think this fight was close. First off, I had Gervonta easily winning this fight at the end. But I wasn't impressed for the simple fact that, a true lightweight. No, this kid was not a true lightweight. This guy doesn't look like Ryan Garcia or Teofimo Lopez or Cambosos, or Haney. He doesn't look like any. He's smaller. He throws nothing but hooks. His punches, the angles that he throws them at are really awkward. Like, he would land a flusher punch if he would throw him from a correct, just the angles that he was choosing to throw that right hand from. It just seemed like he was always out of place. So yeah, a lot of heart. Mike Tyson, right? All the head bobbing and the high guard. That was all great. Chin, great. He lacks power, though. He lacks boxing skill. No, I don't see him going far in this division. Right now, Cambosos is top dog, in my opinion. But Teofimo Lopez, look, because they had such a classic war, and now the doctors are saying that Teofimo is basically dying the night of the fight. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to put that in there. But it's Cambosos, Lopez, Lomachenko, and the fucking rest.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna. This is a bait for anybody watching our video review. We're gonna. All you watching the video, you're gonna hear Miguel's comments, and obviously, I enjoy different fights than these two guys. So whatever. Right after we turn this video off, go to boxingtonight.io. Right after Miguel's comments, there's bonus audio right after. We're going to talk about Andrew's top lightweight list for the last 5 minutes.
No, we're not. No, we're not. I just gave you my top, and I got to go. No, I'm giving it to you right now, dude.
All right, Miguel, what are your comments? Because Andrew's doing his I got to go. The kids are going to kill me, which is kind of true.
I got to eat dinner.
Well, all right, fine. Be a man. Suck it up. Miguel, what do you got? Tell me about that fight.
So shout out to VIP Box. You guys did great. But a couple of times it froze on me, so I kind of missed a round and a half. So that kind of fucked up my scorecard. But I did have it a lot closer than what the scores came. Oh, actually, the scores were pretty common. Like mine score was pretty close to what it was. I did have Gervonta winning just because it felt like Cruz wasn't as active. If you look at both these guys' faces, apparently either these guys just don't have power or they're missing a lot of shots because these guys came out with clean fucking faces on both ends, right? So it shows. I mean, maybe
the
it's
second PBC fight in a row. Second PBC fight in a row. Go ahead.
So then, I give a ton. Maybe it's just a comparative type of thing, but I give a ton of credit to Cruz. I think the second Tank opponent who hasn't been knocked the fuck out. Tank has basically been running through everybody, and he finds this dude, and he can't do it. So whatever style this was, it could have been a styles type of thing that Cruz brought to the table that was a little bit different, that made it difficult for Gervonta, or it could be that it was more of a last minute opponent, opponent switch. Maybe it was that. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it says a lot about Cruz that he went in there willing to take the fight, coming forward the majority of the fight, trying to make it dirty, trying to make it a brawl, and some of the punches, Gervonta's best punch is that uppercut, right? There were a couple of times where he landed it, but there were a few times where he landed on the glove. It was like Cruz was ready for it. He studied him, and that's top props. And I there were a lot of times where I wanted to give the round to Gervonta because all right, he landed the better punches, but he just ran too fucking much. Man, damn it, he ran too fucking much. He did a lot of the clinching. It was basically Pacquiao and Mayweather.
I think you guys are passing on this right hand thing if it's legit.
Well, here's the thing. There was a point where he fell, right? Where he fell to the canvas, he got tripped or something, and he was doing this kind of tripod thing on both of his hands.
He was breakdancing.
And that was later on in the fight. I think he says he messed up his hand in the fourth or something like that, or the fifth. It's like, bro, what the fuck? So I to some degree, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm sure he hurt his hand somehow, maybe, because there's been a couple of times where, if you watch the replays, where he throws a punch and he gets blocked, and I'm like, oh shit, that looked like it hurt his own hand because that punch got fucking blocked. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was, but to say that's the only fucking reason, bro, you're over here fucking breakdancing like it's 1980. Come on, fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I don't know how much I believe that excuse, but yeah, of course, yeah, it's gonna have a messed up hand, but to that extent, I don't know.
Hey, want to hear the rest of that audio? We have a full broadcast and the actual running video that we do available at boxingtonight.io. www.boxingtonight.I. Put it in. You can watch the full video of what we watched and all the jokes, or you can get the full audio. Thanks for watching. Click like, click subscribe. Share it.